This is basically part 2 of translating words into symbols. This time we are translating words into word sentences into equations. And I have 10 examples. We'll go through that. It should be pretty fast. We're not solving, we're just translating. So if you can get the translating down and practice a lot, then you'll have the good math intuition to translate words into symbols. Okay, the first example we have is 8 less than a number n, some number n, is 15. Now, when you see the two to be verbs like is, are, and things like that on the to be verbs, you use equal signs. So that translates to equals. We already know how to, from the first video, do 8 less than a number n. Remember what we talked about that is you write n down first. So n and 8 less than that number is, you write equals 15. We just translated. Alright? For more than a number n, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to write down n first. For more than that is, there's your is, that means equal, 12. 5 more than a number n, so basically this is the same as 9, so we write down n. 5 more than that is equal to, now this one says is equal to, we could have easily just said is 9, but you might see it like is equal to, but basically it's the same thing. It's the same as is, so just different words, just different ways to say the same thing. Okay. 5 times the quantity x decreased by 3. Okay. From the previous video, we already know how to do this part. So basically, we're dealing with this, and then we're going to have is 25. So we've got to translate this. The quantity means we're going to do parentheses here. All right? So the quantity x decreased by 3 is x decreased by 3. Put parentheses. Now it says 5 times that, so you just put the 5 in front. And then we have to finish it up with is 25. Okay, same thing here. This is going to be on the left side of the equation. And this is 22 is going to be on the right side. The 22 is going to be on the right side, and this is your equal. Twice the sum of x and 3. That means this is going to go in parentheses here. So x plus 3. The sum means add. Twice that is 22. Okay? And again, here's your left side of the equation and your right side of the equation. And there's is your equal. So a number is decreased by 12, and it is, or is equal to 30. Okay? So just break down your sentences and do that. Okay, here's another way they might word a word problem. The result of a number, x multiplied by what? Did I copy this down? Multiplied by, this should be 5. Let me check. Okay, so the recording paused while I fix this little typo here. Okay, the result of a number x multiplied by 5 decreased by 3 is 57. Okay, so a number x multiplied by 5. Now, so this is x multiplied by 5. Now, we don't want to write it that way. So when you see something like multiplication is commutative, so we're just going to write 5x. So this means 5 times x. Now it's decreased by 3, Here's the word is 57. And that's your answer. Okay? The sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 48. Okay? So we already know from the previous video that 3 consecutive numbers, you would write it down like this. N is your first one. The second one would be n plus 1. And your third number would be n plus 2. Okay? So, but they want the sum of it. So we're going to add this all together. We're going to add n. That's our first number. This is our second number. And this is our third number. And we're going to add all this together. So, let's go to green. Our first number is n plus our second number, which is n plus 1. And our third number, which is n plus 2. And there's the is equals 48. Now, I think you are collecting like terms. How many n's do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3 n's. So that's 3 times n. And we can add the 1 and the 2 and get 3 equals 48. So basically this step here, from here to there, I simplified. Okay, simplified. And then you work out to find out what your first number is when you solve. The last two problems involve figures, which you will do this in geometry a lot, so you need to know how to write an equation. Okay, so we're going to write an equation involving x. Here's your x here. If the perimeter of the figure is 24. So we know the perimeter of something is like the measurement of the outside. So you can think, usually do the perimeter, you can think of the fence, because you're building a fence around something. When you measure your waist or your arms, or if you're measuring something, that is perimeter. So we're just taking the outside and adding them all up. So we're going to say x plus 6 plus 8. And we have the word is, so it's an equation, is 24. Now in this case we can simplify this because we can add these two numbers up, So that's going to be x plus 14 equals 24. So all I did this last step is add up. By the way, if you ever see, I know this is kind of maybe too much here, but if you see these 3 dots here, that means therefore. So if I don't want to write therefore, I'm going to do the 3 dots like that. Alright, and the last one is the same thing. Write an equation involving x if the perimeter of the rectangle is 32. So perimeter just means we're adding the sides. So if I just start from here, I'm just going to go around. So this is 6 plus x plus 6 plus x. So I went around. What is it? It is 32. Now can I collect like terms? Yes, so therefore I have 2 x's plus 6 is 12 is or equals 32. Okay? And that is all.